So what's your rating?
I gave it 3 bags.
Three? Oh, Jesus Christ. We're pretty far apart on that one, aren't we? Crown Jewel happened today. So what'd you think? What'd you think of the show?
Overall, I liked it. For, I guess for for what it was, I liked the show.
Okay.
It was probably their better Saudi show.
Okay.
Like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I don't remember one being as good as this one.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I've seen a Crown Jewel up till today.
I've seen parts of them.
Yeah.
I remember there was one where Brock Lesnar gave a title match to Ricochet,
It just
and he beat Ricochet without Ricochet getting one offensive move.
sounds about right.
Um, there was another. It sounds like I'm just listing off Brock Lesnar matches, but there was another one where it was Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. I remember that one.
Well, he's
Um,
notorious for being involved in the show for the tremendous payday. So you're okay to specifically mention his matches. It's
yeah, I
it's
think they
it's
get he.
appropriate.
I think him and Goldberg is like 5 million per Saudi show. So yeah,
Yeah, Shawn
but
Michaels came out of retirement for Saudi Arabia.
yeah, he did those paydays. But you're right. I haven't seen a lot of them either.
Mhm.
Mainly because they're usually like 11 o'clock on the Central Time,
Right.
11 o'clock on a Thursday. Like, people, I'm usually at work at that time, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to watch it. And then I don't care enough to go watch the replay.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't on a Thursday. It was today, Saturday, um, or well, yesterday. Um, we started off with Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. What were you excited for the match at all?
Um, there wasn't much of a build, honestly. I didn't know what they were, like, at the heart of it, I didn't know what they were really fighting over.
Well, see, they kind of explained it. They shoved it in there, shoehorned it in there. The Brock Lesnar's issue is Bobby Lashley beat him.
Yeah, yeah, that's,
He beat him once. So
yeah.
Brock Lesnar cost Bobby Lashley the title, and they've been brawling ever since. Um, I will say last Monday where their brawl was really awesome. I liked it got me excited. I like when they charged after each other. Now, I thought that they made Bobby Lashley look like a goof. Um, he's just sitting there. Brock Lesnar comes out, and then the announcers are asking Bobby Lashley questions, and they're having technical problems, or like he's just scripted not to say anything, and just stare, but he's just not responding, and he just looks like an idiot, and they keep like cutting to him as they're asking him shit, and he's clearly not responding, or he can't hear him, and he's just sitting there like Malcolm in the Middle's friend, like what the be Brock Lesnar. But then, like, he finally gets up, and then he charges the ring, and once they start fighting, it was pretty awesome. So that got me excited for it.
I took that as, and going, this is talking about Monday, I just took that as, I'm not listening to you because I'm watching what he's doing.
Okay.
I didn't know, they kind of didn't explain, because they kept saying, I don't know if you can hear what's going on here.
Right.
So,
It was just weird. I don't know.
yeah, it was definitely a little awkward.
It just made him look like an
Match-wise,
idiot.
match-wise, I knew what it was going to be, and, I couldn't get more or less excited for it, because I knew what was going to happen. They were just going to be two beefy guys slapping meat.
Yeah.
And and that's pretty much what it lived up to.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's your
well, I
show,
was just going
bud.
to say, you knew it wasn't going to be like a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Iron Man, WrestleMania classic, or Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, or Kurt Angle. The list goes on with Shawn Michaels. You knew you weren't going to see like that kind of a match. You're just going to see. The best way I put it is to describe the match is you're playing SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain, you put your specials all the way up, and then you just spend the whole match doing specials on each other.
Well, that's a typical Brock Lesnar match. That's true. Well, the thing is, Brock is a legit wrestler, so I mean, he's capable of having like an entertaining, match, and he was entertaining. He sold his ass off. By the way, there's going to be spoilers, so if you're wanting to watch the replay and not,
Come on, why are you watching a review if you don't want spoilers?
well, just some people don't know how to read, but right off the bat, Bobby Lashley attacks him from behind, so he's the heel, I guess. And Brock is working a knee injury, which is great because he's the only motherfucker that's like sold an injury throughout the match. Like we'll get to some other people that allegedly had knee injuries that suck at selling. But so Bobby Lashley pretty much gets the whole offensive duration of the match. Brock Lesnar gets a couple of power moves, and then they have an awkward finish, which the finish kind of took me out of it. I was hoping to be more impactful versus Leslie getting a cheap shot and then taking advantage of that, and Brock just working from behind. It was kind of weird seeing him in that position.
Yeah, I didn't get the finish. Why, by the way, was Bobby Lashley working this match heel when before Monday he was a babyface? Why were the fans choosing him to boo over Brock Lesnar?
I don't know. They hate him.
Makes you wonder. Yeah, it makes you wonder there.
Oh, really?
They are.
We're going there? Going there already?
Hey, I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Why are they booing Bobby Lashley when he came into the show as a babyface?
Well, since we're going over stuff we wrote down, does Brock look like a lesbian trucker to you? Like with that, because he's kind of starting to look like that to me with like his little messed up little bun.
No, I don't know many truckers that are in that type of shape. And if they were, that would be...
Okay. I did think it was really weird that they put on their fancy wrestling costumes to have a fight. Like remember back in the good old days where like they were gonna have a fight, so they like wouldn't even bother putting on their tights. They just come out in jeans, and you'd see them in street clothes, and they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they reserve that now for street fights.
Oh Jesus! Okay. That's basically what this was. They could have done that.
There were rules. I was surprised that it was just like a regular match. I put that in quotes.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't any stipulation behind it.
But
it made sense.
They still did he crashed outside the barrier and stuff. There's still like hardcore aspects of it. It wasn't a complete straight match.
Yeah, and it makes sense. The ending, it was out of nowhere, but it makes sense why. It surprised me that Brock Lesnar won.
Really?
But I can also see why he won, because they're obviously building towards another match out of this.
Of course.
So, probably...
He just growled like a slow person, like, and then his face.
When he was in the Hurt Lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty kind of awkward.
Yeah. And then he just did that bitch fin. And I don't know, it's just weird seeing Brock in that position. And no, I didn't expect them to, because they haven't really booked Bobby Lashley like a killer like Brock Lesnar. So I didn't expect him to win. Or if he won, I didn't expect it to be like that, you know?
Yeah. I guess the reason I expected Lashley to win is because he's the full-time guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And I figured Brock was just there for his payday. and then he was gonna be gone until Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, whichever one he does.
Yeah.
So I figured he was just gonna take an L and then go away and then come back and start his new feud when it's that time. But now that they gave Lesnar the win, and then the post match beatdown by Bobby Lashley,
Yeah.
they're obviously building to another match with this. And again, I don't know if it's going to be Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but we'll be getting that rematch.
Yeah. Do you remember the F5 was the most devastating finisher?
Yeah, when he was doing it to Spike Dudley.
Yeah, and just like nobody kicked out of it, and it actually won matches and stuff. And now it's like everybody kicks out of it. You got to do 100 of them to get like a 2.5 count. It's just weird. But
he's also doing it with like no offense. They're just running in and getting the F5.
Yeah, that's how good the F5 was supposed to be. That's how good a finisher is supposed to be. Like, you just need the finisher.
Well, and I go back to SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. When you loaded up and only did finishers, you had to do a couple finishers before you could actually win the match. Like, if you do no other thing but a finisher.
Yeah, but if you did SmackDown Here Comes the Pain 10 years ago, I don't know how, or 10 years before, earlier than that, the finisher would be okay. If you go to WCW Revenge, man, you were blocking.
Did they have finishers in that?
Yeah, they did. Some of them weren't very accurate, but they did have them. But anyway, so I thought, overall, I thought Brock and Bobby was pretty disappointing. I thought the fight on Monday Night Raw was more exciting than the actual match. So I gave it 2 bags of chips.
I gave it, I forgot what we were going up to, 5? I gave it 3. Like right in the middle.
Next up we have Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Okay. Of their matches, I will say this was actually one of the better ones, right? Like,
okay.
This was one of the better matches of these 4, but we've seen it so many times. I just didn't care about this match at all, and I didn't understand the finish either.
Okay.
Why are you giving like they just won the titles? Why are you hot-shotting the titles? I guess that's what I want to say. You're going hot potato with the titles.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't interested in this match because we saw it on Monday.
Yeah,
so
we just saw it.
I'm not a big fan of them. I don't understand why you would pay. Like, keep in mind, like back in the pay-per-view days, you were spending like what, $50, $60 for a 2-3 hour pay-per-view show. Why the fuck would you? Why would you spend that much money if you already saw the match on Raw?
Right.
So, I mean, that makes no sense to me. I even to see Damage Control get him back at whatever. I didn't care. I did other things. To be honest with you.
Even if they got him back, like they shouldn't even have lost him. Like that's what I'm stuck on. They shouldn't have lost him on Monday.
Right.
And then if they were going to lose him on Monday, they shouldn't have won him back to yesterday.
Well, and if you're gonna lose them, at least lose them to somebody credible like Asuka and Alexa Bliss. They're jokes now. Like, okay, and what the fuck is Asuka? Like, why do they let her speak?
I don't know.
They're like, oh, take it away. Oh, we're gonna do it very good. Like, come on.
That's just what Asuka is. Like,
No, Io Sky does the same shit. They're just like, oh, we're gonna do it very good. We've wrestled in Sayonara. Like,
you're gonna pop a blood vessel.
That's what it sounds like when they wrestle too. They're like, it's actually quite funny. But like if you can't speak English, don't do an English promo. Do a Japanese promo. Like, I would much prefer her like speaking in Japanese and Alexa Bliss like understanding that, like playing off of that, than her going, oh, I'm just Japanese. Like, it just makes her look like a joke. Remember when she was a fucking killer?
Well, she wasn't on the mic.
No, dude, they never had
Right.
her speaking on the mic mostly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She wasn't on the mic when she was
Exactly, because she can't speak. She can't speak English. That if for that, and the same goes for Io Sky. Like, just do Japanese promos. Your teammates can either understand the Japanese dialect and like go off of that, or not. And you just fucking sound intimidating, or you have a translator or something. Don't fucking speak English because you sound ridiculous.
Well, I can understand them.
I can understand them too, but they sound ridiculous.
As long as they're just saying.
They're caricatures. They're like fucking Godzilla movie characters.
Ooh wee.
No, they're.
Ooh wee.
It bugs me because they don't have to. They're great. They're great wrestlers. They're fucking crazy when they get together and they crash into each other. But then like they're so fucking over the top with the Japanese shit. So either let them be Japanese or not, but don't let them be like just broken English. I just got off the boat. No, let them be fucking assassins.
Maybe they're playing anime characters because that's what they think is. That's what Americans are conditioned to know about Japanese people.
This isn't
They're
AEW.
anime characters.
This ain't AEW.
In AEW, they don't let. Well, no, I take it back.
Anyway.
AEW, no,
Okay.
in AEW, there's only Hikaru Shida. She speaks
Riho.
perfect English. Riho doesn't speak.
Riho.
She doesn't speak. She doesn't speak.
Riho.
She doesn't speak. I know her name is fun to say, but
Yeah,
she
no.
doesn't speak.
You got me. Anyway, back to the match. Damage Control, they got their belts back. Who cares? Nikki Cross interfered to get the Damage Control to win. I gave it half a bag of chips.
I gave it 1. I should tell you about my ratings. I don't do. I haven't done any half bags yet.
Okay.
So there's that. So when I give it 1, just know that it's because my rating mine doesn't do half bags.
That's fair. It's
there's
your
that.
rating, dude.
Number-
You don't have to justify it.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Number 2. I just wanted to point this out. Alexa Bliss theme music sucks. Damage
she
Control
sucks.
theme music sucks.
Yeah. Damage Control is just, they're jokes. Like,
I hate that music.
Alexa Bliss took all 3 of them out on Raw. Like, all 20 pounds of her. It's just, yeah.
I don't even care about that.
I do.
Now, it is worth noting because before the match, there was they did a little promo, and
That's what we were just talking
Alexa
about.
Bliss.
Oh, this is very good.
Well, the important part of the promo that we didn't point out that I want to point out is when Alexa Bliss was giving her promo, the Wyatt 6 logo popped up.
Oh.
So it looks like they're closing the circle on the Alexa Bliss Bray Wyatt thing. That's all I wanted to point out, and I thought that was the most important thing of that whole thing.
That's what you got out of it?
Yeah. I didn't get Godzilla out of it.
She even had the wide eyes and everything. Like, come on, man. It's just a joke. That's why she can't be taken seriously. Anyway, moving on. Spent too much time on this goddamn match. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Steel cage. What'd you think?
Again, we just saw them wrestle, at the last pay-per-view. But I think this was a much better match for them.
Okay.
It was better than the strap match. I think Karrion Kross, this match, he wrestled at a faster pace, which helped.
Yeah.
So this was, for me, this was more entertaining.
I couldn't get into this match for some reason. I thought the strap match was compelling even though it was a blow-off match that they're just now introducing. I will say Karrion's hair looks a lot less stupid. His hair was standing all up during Extreme Rules, and he looked goofy. Now he looks a little bit more menacing. You can take him a little bit more serious. Yes, I'm an appearance guy.
I didn't even pay that close attention to this.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I pay attention to that shit. Because if you're, like, think about it. If some guy, like, take everything you know about Mike Tyson into account, just throw that out the window. Like, if he approaches you and he speaks to you in that little lispy voice, like, you're going to take him a little less seriously. Even though he looks like a little gorilla.
Until you get your head knocked around.
Of course, absolutely. You're absolutely right. But just, that kind of stuff just...
So much for judging a book by its cover.
Yeah. But with wrestling, that's what you do. I don't understand why there's pinfalls in steel cage matches. It just seems really lazy to me. Like, they don't know any other way to build suspense. Like, how there's the near falls.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know how to work around that, so they just add that in there. Because it's really, like, they go for pins, and then, like, oh, well, I'm going to go through the door now. Well, no, I'm going to just arbitrarily try to climb out. Like, I don't know. If I had my way, there wouldn't be a door.
Well, I guess that's your opinion. I like the door.
That's fair.
But I can agree with you on the fact that there shouldn't be, like, the pinfall and submission aspect. It should just be, you have to escape the cage to win.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, the drama with the door, there's good shit that you could do with there. But, I just think that it's a steel cage, the only way to climb out. Just because that's a challenge, going through the door. It's kind of a cheat.
It's like the Punjabi prison match.
The greatest match of all time.
Yeah. You can only climb out. You can't go through any doors, and then you got to climb to. That was. Oh,
they should bring that back.
Oh, you got 3 cages you got to climb over.
That was a classic.
Like, what is that even?
So there's like zero build up for this match. I thought this was really cold. Like, they had the little schmaz in the parking lot, but really, there wasn't a whole lot to this. What'd you think of the finish?
I was okay with the finish.
Okay.
I think so. Obviously, they're gonna have to do another match, right?
Right.
Drew McIntyre's gonna think he's done. Kross is gonna attack him.
Right.
So they're gonna do another match.
And what match are they gonna do? An Inferno match?
Well, I think the next match they have to do has to be somewhere, some kind of match where Scarlett can't interfere.
Okay. Scarlett on a pole.
I think. I think that's the only thing they kind of took away from the match is like, oh, here we go again. She's interfering so heavily. Like, Karrion Kross. Heels can win clean.
Right.
That's the thing. They don't have to. It doesn't always have to be an interference. They can win clean.
Right.
So, I want to see something where it's like I beat you clean. Clean as water.
Well, I don't mind Scarlett interfering to help Karrion win. I don't mind, as long as it's a clean, as contradictory as it's going to sound, as long as it's a clean cheating win, Like, I thought it was hilarious when she maced Drew McIntyre and the referee. Like, she maced the ref, or she maced McIntyre, and then she just immediately turned at the referee.
Like, you get some too.
Yeah. Although McIntyre didn't sell it at all. My problem with the finish is, so she locks the door, right? Preventing McIntyre from crawling out of the door. So then he just goes, oh, okay, I'm just going to climb out. So then he climbs out, and that's it. And on top of that, what the fuck does it matter? Pinfalls count.
Well, I think he was just trying to get out of the cage. But yeah, I can say Nick pick that, nitpick.
Well, let me nip
Uh,
this in the bud, because that's not a nitpick. That was an awful finish. Like, it was just awkward, and it was poorly executed. He just stares at her like, "Oh, I'm just gonna shrug my shoulders, and I'm just gonna go an alternate route." Like, her locking the cage posed no challenge to Drew McIntyre whatsoever. It was just dumb.
Okay. I kind of like the fact that they did the McIntyre's going over the top, Karrion's trying to go through the door. Who's gonna get there first? That I just like when that happens.
I do too, but he wasn't really trying. You can tell like he was just half-assedly crawling out just to make it look like he was doing something. But I mean, the writing was on the walls. You knew what was going to happen. There's just no suspense.
And I also think commentary ruined this match.
The commentary ruins every match.
What did it for me was before the match, they were talking about how this is a must-win for Drew McIntyre because he lost at Clash at the Castle because of Solo Sikoa. He lost at the last pay-per-view, and it's like.
So they were pointing out the fact that he was getting fucked, but he has to win. Okay, yeah.
So I was like, well, I went in thinking he was gonna lose because Kross needs to rack up wins still.
Right.
But then when they started saying that, I was like, oh, well, McIntyre's gonna win then, I guess.
I didn't catch that, but it didn't surprise me that he won.
When you're saying this is a must-win for him, and he's supposed to be your second biggest babyface in the company behind Bray Wyatt, then obviously he's gonna win.
Is Bray Wyatt a babyface?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get to him. And I'm not upset with the fact that Drew McIntyre won and Karrion Kross lost. I just thought the finish was shit. So I gave it 1 bag of chips.
I gave it 2 bags.
Okay.
And I don't remember what I gave the first match.
You gave it
their first match.
Oh,
but,
I don't either.
But I gave it 2 because it was better than their other one.
Somebody go on our other show and write in the comments what we gave the strap match.
Yeah, one of you cretins.
So next up we have the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Karl Anderson versus the Judgment Day, Finn Bálor, Damian Priest, and Dominik Mysterio with Rhea Ripley.
I was surprised by the finish on this one. I thought the OC was going to win. I thought whatever they've been building up that they were going to have this Rhea Ripley. They were going to solve the Rhea Ripley problem. I thought that was going to happen tonight, but it didn't. And even more to my surprise, the OC lost, which means we're going to have another match. Now we're going into War Games with all this, and they're going to have to do this again, and they're going to bring in whoever the Rhea Ripley solver is. So I guess that's all I could really say about the match. The match wasn't really that exciting. They didn't really do anything that they haven't already done. If you've seen them wrestle, over the past month, nothing new's come up. So it's just a run-of-the-mill match for me, and that's it.
Okay, well, I'll do you one better. I hate the Judgment Day. I had absolutely no interest in seeing Rhea Ripley powerbomb each and every one of the OC, so I didn't watch this match. I give it 0 bags of chips.
Well, there you go.
All right.
I gave it, for what it's worth, I gave it... I gave it 1 bag. I don't know, just to go back to it. I don't know who this Rhea Ripley problem solver is going to be.
Oh, God.
But I also wanted to point out that they did mention on commentary the Bullet Club, New Japan, from not only the Bullet Club, they mentioned the Bullet Club from New Japan Pro Wrestling. They said that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they also mentioned Karl Anderson is the never open heavyweight Is that it?
Yes, something like that.
Never. Whatever. Fuck Japan.
Whoa.
Whoa. Cut that out. Someone cut that out. Edit that out, somebody. Never open weight champion is Karl Anderson, so he's holding one of the New Japan titles.
Oh yeah. They're doing a little tit for tat thing.
I don't know if we got to mention it on the show a couple weeks ago, but New Japan was upset that Karl Anderson is holding their title and he didn't appear at their wrestling show, which was
No. What happened was he was booked for a New Japan event, and then he announced after he was booked for the New Japan event that he was going to do a Crown Jewel, which was at the same exact day that he was doing the New Japan event. So the fact that he was at Crown Jewel, that was essentially, he said, "Fuck you, New Japan. I'm doing WWE." That's what the issue was.
Yeah, which was today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday. You have fans thinking this is all some elaborate storyline that's coming up. Why they would use a storyline to advertise someone and then pull him off the card because he signed with another company, and that's a elaborate storyline.
Well, I could see New Japan doing something like that. They're a little bit more realistic. They take wrestling more seriously. So I could see them doing like the Americans not taking the tradition of New Japan and our, because they're really respectful there and shit. So they're about honor. Asuka speaking wouldn't lead you to believe that. But yeah, so I could see that being a work that way, and that's kind of how I've been taking it. Like, I haven't been taking it that seriously. And also, the guy he's supposed to wrestle already said, like, oh, we'll do it another day. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but I never have heard, or I can remember hearing them actually say Bullet Club.
Oh.
For one, from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
They always say the club, or they always say, oh, they used to be tag teams in the land of the rising sun. Like, they never said New Japan Pro Wrestling.
They used to hold chopsticks with other people that held chopsticks.
Yeah, they never said Bullet Club. They would always say club, or, that's what they said, club.
Right.
But they went into detail. Finn Balor used to be the leader of the Bullet Club. AJ Styles used to be in the Bullet Club, or he was the leader. No, they said AJ Styles used to be the leader of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, he was.
Finn Balor joined, and
no. Finn Balor was he was the originator of the Bullet Club.
Oh, well, one of them joined and kicked the other one out or something.
Yeah, AJ joined, and they jumped Balor out. Or was it?
So they mentioned.
Or was it Cody? I think Cody was the leader at one point too.
Yeah, he was too. But they mentioned all this on commentary, so it surprised me. It's like, wow. So yeah, that's all I wanted to point out about that match.
What does it say that I pick up on Karrion Kross's hair?
Hairstyles.
And you pick up on the commentary, like Seth Rollins. Like, he went back to the blonde look. I don't know if I like that or not. Like, I think he looks better than he did, because he looked like Kurt Cobain's ex-girlfriend when he had, like, the half blonde, half black. He just looked really trashy. Anyway.
His hair was really...
He looked like a 90s...
It was not a throwback to the streak, like the blonde streak. But he has, like, I don't know, major highlights now or something.
Yeah, it looks white trash, but it looks good at the same time. Like, it works as wrestling. All right, moving on. We got Braun Strowman versus Osmo. Oh, how do you say his name? Omos. With MVP. Which I forgot MVP was even there, because he didn't really do anything.
This was pretty much the same match as the Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match. In a sense, this was supposed to be the same. But it also wasn't the same. It was just basically Omos doing a power move and then talking trash and being Omos.
That's
what I do.
Does he typically talk shit? Is he a shit talker?
Not as much as he was. I think he said the same thing like 5 times in a row. I forgot what he had said, but he said it like 5 times in a row.
Well, in fairness, he is
Strowman
African.
was on the ground.
His articulation, his articulation might not be as good.
Yeah, and he kept saying, "You hear them? You hear them?" Like, what are we supposed to be hearing? Because they're cheering for Strowman. So,
Right.
Like, what exactly are we listening to? Yeah, they were cheering for Strowman when he kept saying that. It's like,
Right.
well, maybe that's what he was saying. Listen to your fans and get up or something. I don't know. But I took it as him saying, "You hear them cheering me?" Or I don't know. But and then so he would do a move and then talk shit. He controlled pretty much the
whole
majority
match.
of the match.
Yeah.
And Braun Strowman got a power slam at the end.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you said, because this is one of your dream matches.
Yeah, I
You
was
like the big men.
See, kind of like Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. It was kind of, I want to see King Kong versus Godzilla. You know what I mean? I want to see just like, I want to see destruction. I want to see both of them just like fighting so hard, and then they both hit each other at the same time and collapse. And I don't want to see one of them beat the shit out of the other. That just, I don't know. I didn't like the fact that it was Osmos throughout the whole match. Omos throughout the whole match.
Well, he's bigger.
I get that. I understand that. I get why. I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him taking the majority of the offense, but the fact that Strowman didn't do anything, like he did like you said, he did the power slam. Like, did he do any other offensive moves? I remember he tried to do the little train thing, and he bounced off of him.
Yeah, he did. He get the clothesline.
Okay.
Second time.
Okay.
He got the clothesline out of the ring, but yeah, it was pretty much dominated by Omos.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wanted something more. I gave it 2 bags of chips.
And you were probably also disappointed that the Great Khali didn't show up.
Oh my god, I was so
show up.
I was so hoping he would just come out and just chop them both.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, what is he going to do? That means if he's coming out, that means Omos is probably going to win, and he's going to be standing and saying, "I'm the most dominant giant in WWE," and then cue the and out comes the Great Khali.
Yeah.
And then they do their little stare down. And it's like, oh, look at the size of these men. And, yeah.
See, Great Khali kind of proves my point too. Like, he never, well, for the most part, he never did like English promos. He spoke Punjabi or whatever he speaks. And he always sounds like menacing. He sounds like a giant.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, and then he have his translator there.
Yeah, he sounds scary. Like, that's what they need to fucking do with Asuka and Io, because he can't speak English. Sorry to harp on that. That just really bugs me.
Yeah. I gave the match 2 bags.
Yeah.
It was short enough that it lived up to what it was supposed to be. It was short enough that, it didn't drag on. And again, it wasn't going to be Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. It was
right.
More like Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez at whatever WrestleMania that was.
18? I thought it was better than that.
It wasn't 18. At WrestleMania 10?
I thought it was much better than that. But
yeah, I mean Giant Gonzalez was just on a different level of bad.
Right.
He wrote the book of bad. I would even say he was. One day we're gonna have to rank the worst big men.
I'll
and
put that
I think
on the.
He's gonna be at the top of the list.
I don't know if there is a worse big man. Those are the best wrestlers.
For you,
the slower and more awkward, the better. The ones that when they fall over, it takes them like 10 minutes to do so. Like,
or they freaking don't bend their knees when they're falling over, and they just like fold in half.
Yeah.
Great Khali. He didn't bend his knees. He just like folded down. He like folded down and then sat down.
And he also didn't kick. He would just like extend his leg and push. Just, I love it.
So during in the match, you had Omos do his little big boot.
Yeah.
Where it was just like him holding his leg up and while holding on to the rope. Like, what's the matter? You can't get that big hammock up there?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Both of the quote unquote big men matches were just very deflating for me.
Yeah, I agree. They weren't. Yeah, we weren't talking about Giant Gonzalez versus Undertaker bad, or Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar the first time bad, but they were bad. But they weren't like they weren't too bad, but they weren't good either.
Yeah.
Middle of the road.
Anyway, moving on, we got the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, versus the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch.
I'll give it 3 chips.
Okay.
I don't really have any notes for the match. It was just a good Usos and Brawling Brutes match, as you would expect. The one thing that I did write down was that Jay Uso, he may have a broken wrist, as mentioned on commentary. So that is something that may derail the whole Bloodline storyline thing.
Fuck, I missed that too.
So that would be interesting, but yeah, it was a match that was just kind of there, but it was a good match.
But I did notice Jay's shoes were the perfect shade of... No.
I was like, wow, it's like you watch like a woman. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I do like that. No, in all seriousness, I do like the shade of red that they use. It's like a real, it's like a blood red. My notes are okay. First of all, this is easily the match of the night for me. I thought both of them worked really well together. The Usos, I kind of wish they were more asked for their level of competition. I wish they dominated a little bit more. I thought they gave a little bit too much more offense than they should have. They need to be ass kickers. They're Samoan, man. They need to fucking act like it. Like all the Samoans I know, they'd rip your head off and eat your brains. I have no idea why the champions came out first. That's really weird to me.
That's just WWE.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I think it diminishes them. I know it's just the tag team championships and blah 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 blah, but it's just, come on. I think Ridge Holland sucks. I think he's fucking awful. He did a double backdrop to the Usos, and it was just the most half-ass fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. He just kind of and they basically just did a
make that sound too.
I'm sure he did. The Usos basically just did front flips, and then they're acting like, oh, this is fucking awful. He sucked. And then when he did, I guess like the only thing he knows how to do is Sheamus's moves. So there's a spot where he did the Sheamus hammers on their chest like a madman.
10 beats of the Ballard.
Thank you. 10 beats of the Ballard. So he does it to Jay, but he's doing like these little weak ass little bitch, like no contact. No, it was like he was afraid to hurt him. It's like Jay said, I'll do the spot, but if you hurt me, I'm gonna fuck you up.
There was that, and he was doing it slow as hell. It was almost like he was waiting for the crowd to count before he did it.
Yeah, it was just awful.
Like, why is it going so slow? Like, how long is he gonna leave this here?
Just don't do it.
I'm actually on the other side of that, though. I think he's gotten a lot better.
Okay, I think he's awful, but whatever.
He's also and I'll tell you why. He's the one that broke Big E's neck.
That doesn't help his case.
Well, I'm saying he broke Big E's neck, and he almost broke Johnny Gargano's neck back in NXT. So he's not breaking anybody's neck this time around. So I think he's gotten better. Like when he did that, when he went for that double back body drop spot, I was like, oh, here we go. He's gonna drop someone else on their neck.
No, that's.
He
I guess that explains why his moveset sucks, because, like, yeah, that was awful. And the fact that he's on TV all the time, he shouldn't be. Send him back to NXT to learn. Because all he had to do was use his forearm and beat somebody in the chest with it, and he couldn't do that. Like, that's just basic shit. I could do that, and I'm not saying that. I want it now. Might be as good a time as any to say that when we talk about this shit, we're coming from the place of fans. We're not trying to say that we're experts on the wrestling business. But I can say
wait a minute. We did spend a few years doing backyard wrestling, so we do know a little bit about the wrestling business. Continue.
But I can say with confidence that that I can do 10 beats of the Bálor better than fucking Rich Holland.
Right.
So, but all that, it was still the match of the night. I think the Usos made it. They didn't play up any of the tension that they had from Monday, or not Monday, the Monday before, the Usi.
That was Friday.
Well, thank you.
It bled into Monday though.
Whatever day, the Usi, because Jimmy got in Jay's face before they did the public apology shit.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't play that up at all. So it was kind of weird. That was the only flaw to the Bloodline story that I've seen so far.
Well,
anyway,
the funny thing.
Oh, go ahead.
You mentioned that they did. You got to really be like a geek keeping up with this, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I kept up with it. The storyline right now is everything is kind of smooth over right now. They're kind of like Jay's being more Usi because Sami Zayn took them to Waffle House.
Oh, was that
right
recent? I saw that clip. I didn't know that was recent.
Yeah, I think that was Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Friday after after SmackDown.
Jay smiled like a little kid.
House. Yeah, he's like Waffle House.
Okay.
I'm like, man, what an endorsement for the Waffle House.
Okay, fair enough. Then okay. Then I take back the flaw, if that's the case. But yeah, I give this 3 bags of chips as well. Moving on.
With that 3 bags.
Well, you did. You said 3 bags, so I hope so.
Did I?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. I don't know.
Okay. Moving on, we have Bianca Belair and Bayley. Last woman standing match. Raw Women's Champion.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I think this is of their matches. I think this is one of their better matches. Specifically between these two, I think it's their best match. There were some spots that definitely could be improved. For instance, there was a spot where Bianca Belair. Well, there's 2 things here. There was a spot where Bianca Belair. They're fighting on the ramp. Bayley goes to get a golf cart. She drives the golf cart out. The golf cart was going like,
oh my god,
as slow as it could be.
Oh my god, yeah.
It was like 2 miles an hour.
Why did they even do that? Like even if she hit her, like it wouldn't have hurt her.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do the spot where she gets hit by the golf cart, and as slow as it was moving, it wasn't gonna do anything.
Right.
But they didn't do that.
No, she just stopped for no reason.
Yeah, that was one. Number 2, there was the part where Bianca had Bayley on top of the golf cart. Now, I more understand this one, but this is just my deranged mind. But she has Bayley on top of the golf cart. And it's pointed like at the edge of the stage. And she gets in the golf cart and reverses it as opposed to driving it off the stage. So I thought she was gonna drive it off the stage when
I
she
did.
first got in it,
I did too.
but she backed up and was like, "Okay, maybe I'm just sick."
Well, there was a couple. Yeah, I thought she was going to do that. I thought she was going to drive full speed at the ring and torpedo her into the ring.
Oh, yeah, that too. And she didn't do that either. She just stopped.
Yeah, well, I thought,
And
then I saw the table, and I thought she was going to do that with the table, but yeah, then she just benignly stopped in front of the table, which when Bayley bounced off that table a few seconds later, so I don't know if that was worse or better.
I saw the table. I thought she was gonna drive the golf cart, hard stop, and then Bayley was gonna fly off it through the table.
Yeah, I was hoping for that.
uh,
I also thought Bayley was going to push Bianca off the stage where she was in that chest. I don't know why she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, remember the Chainsaw Charlie versus the New Age Outlaws?
Yeah, and they pushed the dumpster.
The dumpster
off.
match? Yeah.
Yeah, when she put her in that chest, I got a vision of like her locking it closed and then pushing it off, because you lock it closed so she doesn't get hurt when you push it off.
Right.
But if you do that, like, there's no way Bianca is getting out by the 10 count. So I more understood it after I thought about it. And then again, I thought I was just a sick fuck that wanted to.
No. I mean, if you're going to do it. It's wrestling. It's a fight.
Yeah.
No rules.
It's like, I'm just thinking too much into this match. But I did overall like the match.
Okay. I didn't. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me know. Let me know when it's my turn, brother.
I was just gonna say the ending I thought was like, it's something I've never seen before. To where Bianca Belair she sandwiches Bayley in the ladder, pushes it under the turnbuckle so that Bayley can't get out. Never seen that before, so I thought that was pretty clever. I do go back to the whole Bayley should have won this match because Damage Control keeps losing. Why are we doing this again? So that's the one takeaway I did from it, but I thought of their matches, this was the best of them.
Okay, is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Okay, I hated this. Do I sound like Skip?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll stop then.
That's funny. I was gonna do the skip.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I could do the. No, I don't want to do Shin.
Oh, yeah, we gotta switch back.
Anyway,
Wrong rolls.
Yeah, Bianca Belair might be one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. She can't sell worth a shit. It's kind of going back to Monday. She injures her knee, and then like kind of the opposite of what Brock did. Like, he sold his knee throughout the whole match. She injures her knee mid-match, and she's selling it 1 minute, and then she's doing like a power move from the knee. Like, she's launching off her knee. She did a knee breaker on her injured knee. Like, I'm sorry, a back breaker on her injured knee, and then she's like, oh, and then even the commentator's like, it was on the injured knee. Her facial expressions, like, she's a fucking horrible actress. Like, the facial expressions she makes, it's like it reminds me of like a fish taking its last dying gasps of air just before it passes away. I can't stand her. Getting up and
the hand motion.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Motion?
I don't like the directing. Like, oh, get over here. She did that. Like, I can't stand that. Or a little twirling her stupid hair, which I did get. I did get confirmation that that would hurt. My girlfriend, she confirmed. So
well, there you go.
Yeah. Getting up immediately. Getting up and immediately falling down is not beating the 10 count. That means you didn't beat the 10 count, which is what fucking Bianca Belair did, like, throughout the whole match. She'd do this thing like 9, and she'd get up and then it's like fall down immediately. That you didn't beat the 10 count. In past last man standing matches, that would have been a dramatic finish. Now it's like, I don't know. That bugged me. That's a nitpick, I admit, but it bugged me.
Yeah, at the very least, they could have restarted the count. But they would do that, and then the ref wouldn't count again.
Oh, the ref was awful. With a last man standing match, the referee is just as big a part of the match as the wrestlers. So you need to have somebody that's like as good at working as the wrestlers are. And the person that it was awful. I bet that just on a side note, the ladies, they had the turtlenecks, all their heads looked huge. The women referees, especially the black one. Her head was like so big.
Uh-oh. Why are you signaling her out?
Because her head was like ridiculously big.
Interesting that is the description you went with for that referee.
She has a big head?
No, you didn't go with the one with the ponytail. You went with...
Well, they both have ponytails. There was a white one and there was a white one and there was a black one. They both had ponytails. They both had turtlenecks. They both had referee shirts on. They both had black pants on. What other description should I use?
The one with the red lipstick or something. I don't know.
They weren't wearing lipstick.
I'm just giving you options.
I couldn't
just want to immediately jump to the...
I couldn't tell whose clit was pierced, so I mean we couldn't go off that descriptor. I could go based off of the easiest one to pinpoint. So quit trying to make it bigger than what it is. Quit trying to make this subject as big as her head was. Anyway.
Oh, was one black? Sorry, I didn't notice. There.
Yeah. So yeah, her immediately falling down, like that just really bugged me. In my mind, that's a finish. You mentioned Bayley trying to run Belair over the cart. That was really stupid. All right, so you've said you've never seen that finish before. To me, it was a play off of the empty arena match with Mankind and The Rock. Remember when Mankind pinned The Rock with the pallet?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, that this particular finish has like them using the ladder that way. It was clever, and you're right, it was. But I mean, to me, that's what they were kind of paying homage to.
Okay.
I think the finish should have been that 450 splash onto the chairs. Like, what else is gonna beat Bianca Belair? You know, she did a 450 splash onto chairs head first.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I didn't like, and to your point, Bayley just looks like a joke. Damage Control they all looked like jokes at this point, even though they have the championships back. They just look awful. Yeah, Bayley. This didn't do Bayley any favors. I don't know how you could take her seriously. And the champion now is just an awful wrestler. One bag of chips.
Well, like I said, I enjoyed this match. I do also want to point out, just I don't know how important it is, but we have come a long way, and it reminded me when you talked about the refs wearing turtlenecks. We've come a long way in the women's attire. When we started out the Crown Jewel matches, they would just wear like a bodysuit with a very oversized Raw or SmackDown or shirt. So we've come a long way from that. Their outfits, while they're still covered to keep whatever, happy.
Modesty?
Yeah. While they're still covered up, they still had like designs on their outfits. I always did find it funny though that the women have to be like, they can't even show like their arm skin, while the men, and this being the wrestlers, the men, they're like shirtless and as little clothes they can be in, but the women have to like only can show their head.
Well, it's because
I don't want to get into all that.
All right, I was gonna say naked dudes aren't an art form. They're not as distracting.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that. But I'm just
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Their attire has come a long way, and yeah.
If you say so.
And that part.
They all look like Power Rangers to me.
Well, that's because they can only show their head.
I get it. I understand. I'm just
like, they can only do so much.
They all look like Power Rangers.
And again, this is a long way from bodysuits with an oversized T-shirt.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
like the first little women's match is just ridiculous.
Well, all women's matches are
overall-
ridiculous.
Overall, I would say I would rather them not have women's matches in Saudi. Like, it's so weird seeing them in the stupid outfits that they're in.
Yeah.
They should just skip those Saudi shows, but yeah, you know, they're trying to show the Saudi people that women can be equal.
Yada yada yada. Yeah, whatever.
I'm
How many
saying
back?
that I don't agree with that. I'm just saying that's what they're trying. Well, I'm surprised you gave it as many as you did, being a women's match. You know.
Hey, you know, I was watching Raw last night. My girlfriend says, "I thought you fucking hate women's wrestling." I was like, "Well, I gotta at least watch it so I know what I'm talking about." Well, I should on.
So I know what to hate on them.
Yeah, because you can't just hate on them for no reason. So, and I can point out what was good and what was bad. And unfortunately, Bianca Belair sucks. Anyway, moving on. We got the Bray Wyatt promo.
Before we move on, I just want to say,
Sure.
I'm proud that you actually went as far as you did. You tried.
Yeah.
Right. I thought you were just gonna say, well, it was a women's match, so 0 stars or 0. Sorry, not stars. 0 bags, because women.
Right. No,
I thought that's where I was gonna go. So you actually gave them a chance. So
the tag team match I completely tuned out because one, tag team matches in general I'm usually not a big fan of. That one I couldn't get into. This one, Bayley usually has pretty solid matches, especially her Iron Woman match with. I always bring that up with Sasha Banks, and I think she had the ladder match too with somebody. Bayley's usually pretty solid. I like her. She's believable, even though she loses all the time. So she's like the Bray Wyatt of the women's division. But whatever. Speaking of Bray Wyatt,
speaking of Bray Wyatt,
okay,
that was the best. That was a good segue.
Good deal. He did a promo.
He did.
Did a spooky promo.
We're still building out the characters. Uncle Howdy made another appearance. But first of all, you knew he wasn't going to wrestle because he hasn't done enough of his promo thing yet.
How do we know when it's enough? Like, at what point is it enough?
When it's enough?
Yeah,
the character's not even built out. We don't even know who he is yet.
He said he's Bray Wyatt. I'm Bray Wyatt.
He did say he was Bray
and I'm
Wyatt.
Here.
But
he said
that who Uncle Howdy is. Like, who's he feuding against? Answer that question. Who's this big feud that he's gonna be in his next match against?
I'm really curious to see if he's gonna feud with himself.
At this point, it sounds like it.
Oh my god! Remember when I said that weeks back?
Yeah.
My goodness. I didn't think I was just joking. I didn't think they would do something that stupid. If they do that, I don't know about Bray Wyatt, dude.
So you have Uncle Howdy. You missed it on SmackDown, but he did. There was a surprise. There was another Bray Wyatt promo.
Oh, okay.
But this time, and again, geeks. If you did a freeze frame, in one of the frames you caught a woman. So now we're guessing that that's the second character of this whole Wyatt 6 thing. And it wasn't Alexa Bliss. It was someone else in a mask. I don't know if you've watched the movie Saw, but it looked like the little jigsaw thing in Saw. But it was a woman, and it had the little spiral red thing on its cheeks.
So they're just don't care what they rip off.
So, yeah, there was a woman tease. I don't know who that is. I'm seeing on the dirt sheets, as we do talk about Bray Wyatt doing more talking, I'm seeing on the dirt sheets that they're thinking this might go to WrestleMania before we see Bray's first match.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how you keep it fresh. You were already tired of it. I don't know how you keep it fresh until WrestleMania.
Isn't that obvious?
Guess what? That you're tired of it?
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, you've said for the last 3 weeks that you're just ready to see him wrestle. So.
Because it's wrestling. This is wrestling. This motherfucker, all he does is he comes out with his little lantern, swings it around, and then talks his little spooky promos, and then he talks to his little Silence of the Lamb buddy on a Titantron. I remember the first time I ever went to Monday Night Raw was a couple of years ago, and Bray Wyatt was featured. You know what he did? He did like a little Titantron little promo. He wasn't even there in person. All he does is little spooky promos. The motherfucker needs to get in the ring. If he wants to talk, start a podcast. If he wants to be a wrestler, then wrestle. For him to just come out and, oh, I'm Bray Wyatt and I'm here and you save me from myself. I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. I didn't hear its goddamn word he said. I just want him to wrestle. That's it.
No one knows what he's talking about. That's what makes it interesting.
You don't know who he's going to feud with. He's not attacking people. Like, okay, if you're not going to have a match until WrestleMania, you could at least, like with Loomis and The Miz. Loomis keeps jumping The Miz. Do something like that. Bray Wyatt could have a target. Like if he's supposed to go after Roman, like have him one by one systematically take out the bloodline. But him to just come out, oh, my feelings and my stupid theme song. I fucking hate his theme song now. Like do something.
There you go.
I didn't even.
You're not alone.
Well, come on. It's right.
I was gonna say you're not alone in that. There's people who are already said this has happened too many times. Like let's just get on with it.
Or don't show up at all. Like if you're supposed to be some special attraction, don't come out and just yap your gums. That's what you did before you left. We've seen that. We've seen Bray Wyatt the talker. We've seen him talk his shit. Now get in the ring and do your thing. You're supposed to be this creative genius. But if all you're gonna do is talk about shit and then talk to your little skin face guy, Uncle Howdy. I don't even know what the other thing is. Like, come on.
The saw thing.
It looks like Black Phone.
No, yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
So I mean,
he's telling a story. You gotta let the story build. Like,
but he's
go shooting your wad. The climax is the wrestling match.
He's a wrestler, though.
You can't skip to the climax. You gotta build up to the climax. You know, you're probably a 2-pump Charlie. And you just
don't you be clouding the issue with facts.
You just go throw your girl on the bed and pop and you're done. You don't build up. You don't foreplay.
Oh no, I just lie down. Like go ahead. And I turn my head to the side.
Let me know when you're finished.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted one too? But yeah, you're just like trying to shoot your wad out early. No foreplay, no nothing. It's just right to it.
I think this is
let it build up.
I think this is the perfect moment to say that even my girlfriend has noticed that all Bray Wyatt does is talk. She's like, I've only seen him fight once.
Well, we're building a story, so I don't know. It's not for everybody. I say that each week.
Well,
there's your Bray PSA. It's not for everybody.
He went from being the hottest thing to now he's just gonna fizzle out because he's not gonna do anything. He's just like when he was with the swamp creature. All he did was fucking talk, no action. The only difference is that we won't even get to see him lose. He just won't do anything. But anyway, main event.
Well, he is the number one merchandise seller, but
for now,
I see what you're trying to say. Main event. I'm gonna leave the floor to you and let you tell me why this is not 4 bags of chips. This is what I rated.
You rated it 4 bags of chips?
And I almost gave it 5 bags. And the only reason I didn't give it 5 bags is because if I gave it 5 bags, there's nowhere else higher to go. So I gave it 4 bags just off of that. Like no, I'm not done yet. If I gave the Undertaker and the Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25 5 bags of chips, then this, just in correlation, cannot be 5 bags of chips. So I gave it 4 bags of chips.
Okay.
And now you can go ahead and say why your reasons of it not being 5 bags of chips, and try not to just point out the fact that it's Logan Paul. Try to give like other reasons than that. Go ahead.
Well, taking aside from not Logan Paul specifically, but I mean, you have somebody that's not a wrestler coming in on a second match on challenging somebody that's held your most prestigious title for the longest. Well, he's got to hold it for the longest that anybody has in the modern era. Why would somebody with no experience give him any sort of trouble, lucky punch or not? I did like the fact that they did the steel screw shit. Like, that's old school wrestling. So I mean, like, remember when Lex Luger had the steel arm he used for clotheslines? He used the steel, so the steel screws. You got somebody who's coming in cold, no experience, don't know anything about him other than he's an obnoxious YouTube personality. His brother coming in, hunched over like a meth-addicted homeless guy, throwing the weakest punches I've ever... For somebody that's a pro fighter, those punches were awful. So we have him to look forward to. So just ushering that in. I'm not the biggest fan of Roman Reigns to begin with. So his little facial expressions and his trying to tell the story in the ring and that stuff, I think he does way too much talking there. Way too much interference. When have we seen a Roman Reigns match not end in some sort of bullshit? Like, if he's supposed to be the tribal chief, why can't he win clean?
Yeah, I agree with you though. Those punches by Jake Paul were... He's a boxer. He's not a wrestler. He hasn't been training in wrestling. So he's trying not to knock people's heads off. So,
but he can still throw at least a working punch. Like, come on, like, you can. Come on, you just did the. I don't know. It was awful. The whole like little one lucky punch bullshit. I just wasn't buying it. I left and I got drinks.
Well, even Tyson, when he threw the punch on Shawn Michaels when he was the special guest referee with Austin, that punch was not the greatest either.
But it wasn't like just a little push off. It at least looked like it would hurt him.
It was the shortest little clothesline, or shortest little hook that you could see.
True, but at least it looked like it would do some damage. It wasn't just a little push with a fist. Watch them side by side. You tell me, please. First of all, to even say Tyson and one of the Pauls in the same sentence. Anyway, I gave this 0 bags of chips.
One of the Pauls who just beat the greatest MMA fighter in history. You forgot about that part. I said you omitted that.
Okay. Well, that Paul was the one that threw the weak ass punches, and the one that looks like a hunched over meth addict. And I don't know. He may have beaten Anderson Silva, but he's a horrible wrestler so far.
Well, I definitely disagree on it. Of course, I gave it 4 bags of chips.
Yeah. Well, tell me why it's 4 bags of chips.
We're in Logan Paul's 3rd match.
Okay.
And comparing it to other celebrities, he's definitely the best celebrity wrestler that we've had.
So he's
number 1. Number 2.
He's the turd that smells the least, so that's 4-star worthy?
I wouldn't say he smells the least. I'd say he's pretty good. He's better than half the roster. And he makes the crowd care about him. Did you hear how hot the crowd was during that match? It wasn't all just because of Roman Reigns.
Maybe they just don't have a lot of wrestling there.
Number 2, the fact that he's better than half the roster. He was giving moves that made you actually believe that he was going to win for a minute. There were some false finishes where you actually thought, and it does go back to part of it is me saying, hey, I think Logan Paul should win the title because it's going to get so much buzz. There was the moment where he did the frog splash through the table.
I will say that was a decent frog splash.
Yeah, he did the frog
you know
splash.
what? Okay, I can give.
He was recording it.
I can agree with you to the extent that he is a good. He does seem to take it seriously. I guess my issue is he hasn't paid any in terms of the character, the storyline. Like, he just came in. Like, why does he just get a title shot?
Yeah, that was a Vince McMahon thing. The fact that he hasn't really built to a championship, he just got one because he's Logan Paul.
Right.
That was a Vince McMahon idea type of thing.
You're right.
Where,
Okay.
You know, just come out and ask for a title match and you get one.
And it's not like Logan Paul is, I don't know, Jason Momoa or something, you know, somebody like or The Rock, or, you know, a superstar, Vin Diesel.
There was even a point in the match where he hit a buckshot lariat on Roman Reigns. That set Twitter on fire, of course. And they always said, oh, that's a better buckshot lariat than Adam Hangman Page. Which it's not, because how are you going to do someone else's move better than them? Like, if you're mimicking someone else's move, theirs is better because you're supposed to be mimicking what they're doing. So if you don't do it just like them, then theirs is better.
I will say, with the part where he tried to do Sweet Chin Music, I absolutely wanted to throw up. Like, I knew it was coming too. As soon as they were pimping the fact that he was training with Shawn Michaels, like, this motherfucker, I bet you he's gonna do a Sweet Chin Music. Thank God he didn't. That would have been worse. But
yeah, he did. He was gonna do this Sweet Chin Music. There was a point in the match where he did a flying forearm, and they called it a Superman punch for some reason.
Yeah.
But he did the flying forearm, and he lays on his back, and I even called it. I said,
"Oh,
that
the
wasn't
kip up."
A Superman punch. Yeah. I was like, that's not a Superman punch. That's Shawn Michaels' flying forearm, and he's about to kip up right now. And then that's what he did.
You know what? I didn't notice that, but yeah, the kip up was just awful, and just, I don't know, shit like that just bugs me. Just because you train with the dude doesn't mean you gotta steal his shit. Especially when you're not as good at doing it as he was.
Well, he stole that, and he stole Adam Hangman Page's move.
Well, he can steal from Adam Hangman Page.
Like, where'd you get that from?
Adam Hangman Page isn't a legend.
Well, I'm just saying, where'd you get that from in the WWE universe that you should only be paying attention to?
Didn't Bradshaw do something like that?
Hell no.
Oh.
Bradshaw?
I thought he did a lariat.
There's no way. He did a lariat, but he didn't do a buckshot lariat.
Oh, I might have to watch what actually a buckshot lariat is.
The thing where he did the front flip over the ropes into the clothesline? Bradshaw was not doing that.
No, he's not.
And then Jake Paul comes out.
Looking like
bad punches. But
yeah, he's all hunched over, God, he's all shifty and looked like he smelled.
I do like the fact that Samoa. Look at you.
Sikoa Joe.
Solo Sikoa. I like that he came out and it was kind of a big deal. Like they kind of pushed it as a big deal. So I don't know. It made him look a lot better, even though him and Paul didn't like get physical because then the refs came out and stopped it. It made him look like, oh, you took out my brothers, but you know, you fucked up now because now I'm coming out.
I don't know. I thought it looked.
And then they were like, oh, it's the street champion.
I thought it looked awkward because he stopped just short of him, and then like he kind of looked behind him just to make sure that the people
wait for him. Oh,
yeah.
Hold me back.
Yeah. And it's like you're supposed to be. It's like they don't know Samoans, you know?
Yeah. Now,
like,
one thing I didn't like about that whole thing was they both came out to him, Solo, and Paul. They both came out to entrance music.
Yeah.
Like, so Jake Paul here, he is supposed to be coming to help his brother, and he's got his entrance music playing.
He's got a graphic and everything.
Yeah, and he's over here.
But it's a surprise.
Looking at the crowd and nodding, and I think he even at one point did like a hand slap with some of the crowd. And you're supposed to be helping your brother, and you're doing all this.
Yeah.
Like, there's time for that, right? Not when you're supposed to be running in to help your brother. There was one that was. This has nothing to do with this match. There was one that was super ridiculous. This whole run-in thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was in NXT. Okay, you have Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. She was a face at the time, and it was right before WrestleMania when Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair were about to have their title match. So Charlotte Flair is she's in the ring with Bianca Belair. The match was over because she was hitting her with a chair, and she puts her leg in the chair because she's about to do the Pillman thing. And Rhea Ripley, her music plays. Okay, she comes out to the ring. She comes out to the ramp, and before Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley had this entrance where she would the music would play, and then she'd do the stomp, and then look up at the camera.
Right.
So she did that. All the while, Charlotte Flair is in the ring with a chair on Bianca Belair's leg to Pillmanize her. And you got Rhea Ripley on stage stomping and looking up at the camera. And sure enough, Charlotte Flair stomps on the leg while she's getting her full entrance in.
Well, at least she didn't do something stupid like stall, you know.
Yeah, she stepped on. She did it. And then she did it again. And I just thought it was so ridiculous that she's over here Pillmanizing this leg, and Rhea Ripley's getting her full entrance.
They did that with Brock and Lashley too. Like, they were talking about where's security and stuff, but yet they both had their little entrances. I mean, they didn't go so far as to. I don't think they posed or anything. I think Lashley was taking his jacket off, but like you got somebody there holding the button to cue up their theme music, you know.
Yeah.
But like the officials are supposed to. They don't want them fighting.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, but
It's because
that's just a nitpick. But I thought it was overall, the match was 4 stars, and Roman Reigns is still the GOAT.
I think you're nuts.
And it does go back to Roman Reigns or Logan Paul. I could see him being champion and it not being too crazy. And I was the first one to say it, so
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. His promos are awful. I guess for a beginner, he was fine. Just from a fan perspective, you could tell that Roman was carrying most of the match.
As he should have.
Yeah, I think you're crazy not only for the 4-star rating, but also to say that Roman's the GOAT. What?
I guess that could be another conversation for another day.
Anyway, so that is our Crown Jewel review.